You're a heinous person.
You're a prostitute.
Cool.
I'm not getting paid.
How can you make out while here in front of everyone like a slut while we're trying to eat? There are people here. Don't
Okay.
you have any manners?
Imagine you're just trying to kiss your partner in line for a poke bowl, and suddenly a stranger starts screaming that you're having sex in public and calls the cops on you. That's not a joke, that's a real scene caught on camera in a Santa Monica restaurant, and it's just one of many unhinged Karen meltdowns over totally normal PDA. Public displays of affection are everywhere, hand-holding at Target, a quick kiss in a movie line, a hug at the airport. But for a certain type of person we now call a Karen, that's apparently enough to trigger a full-scale moral emergency. In this video, we're diving into multiple real incidents where couples show a little affection, and a stranger absolutely loses it. We'll break down what happened, why they went nuclear, and how fast a tiny kiss turned into screaming threats and calls to 911. Stay till the end, because the last incident flips the script and shows what happens when the Karen realizes the camera is rolling, and suddenly she's the one on the defensive. Incident 1, the poke bowl line sex accusation. Our first story takes place in Santa Monica, California, inside a casual spot called Mainland Poke. A couple is standing in line, being affectionate, close together, a little hugging, a bit of kissing. Normal couple stuff, nothing even close to explicit. But to the woman ahead of them in line, this is apparently the end of Western civilization. She spins around and accuses them of having sex in public.
Bitch, while I'm trying to order? He was having sex with her at the stand when I was trying to order. They were making out.
It was pretty good. The sex was pretty good.
Well, go get a room if you want to fuck the whore. I mean, I don't want to watch it. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. You making out with that ugly bitch? It is so nasty.
Loudly and repeatedly, even though there's zero evidence of anything beyond mild PDA. She doesn't just quietly say, "Hey, could you tone it down?" She launches into a vulgar rant, calling the girlfriend a prostitute and demanding action from the staff. Suddenly, a 5-second kiss has turned into a full-blown scene.
You're f***ing your girlfriend in a public restaurant acting like a prostitute.
The boyfriend holds his ground and tells her to step back and stop harassing them, and even asks the employee to call the police because she won't calm down. That alone flips the power dynamic. This isn't a concerned citizen anymore. This is someone creating the disturbance. Then, in true Karen fashion, she demands a refund, grabs the phone to yell at the manager, and threatens to send the video and the cops after the couple. If a hug and a poke line can trigger that kind of meltdown, wait until you hear what happens when a Karen thinks PDA is corrupting the children. Incident 2. Think of the children. PDA in a family restaurant. In a lot of PDA freakout compilations, there's a recurring theme. A Karen who claims she's protecting the kids from seeing affection. Picture this. A family-style restaurant, maybe a booth near the window, a couple sitting side by side. They're not making out on the table. They're just close, sharing a quick kiss and leaning on each other's shoulders. At the next table, a woman starts staring. Then she starts huffing, rolling her eyes, and finally snaps. "There are children here!" She acts like a peck on the lips is the same as an R-rated movie, loudly complaining that the couple is forcing their relationship on everyone around them. The kids, by the way, barely notice anything. Most of them are buried in tablets and fries. When the couple calmly responds that they're just sitting together and not doing anything obscene, the Karen doubles down. She demands the manager do something, insisting that the restaurant has to enforce her personal comfort level as if it's a law. This is classic Karen behavior. Turn personal discomfort into a moral emergency, then demand authority step in. Other diners start looking over, and it becomes obvious she's the only one actually bothered. A few people even defend the couple, telling her to mind her own business and let them eat in peace. The more she yells, "This is a family place," the more obvious it becomes that the only one making it awkward for families is her. And if you think that's over the top, the next Karen goes from "I'm uncomfortable" to full-on "I'm calling the police" over a hug in public. Incident 3, PDA in the park turns into a criminal case. Now let's move outside. Typical American park setting, benches, walking paths, people with strollers, joggers, dogs. A couple is on a bench hugging, sitting close, occasionally kissing. It's the kind of PDA you'd see at a movie theater, a college campus, or literally any airport departure gate. Enter Karen, stage left. She approaches them with that slow, exaggerated walk, already recording on her phone. She accuses them of being inappropriate in public, claiming what they're doing is basically indecent exposure, even though they're fully clothed and just touching each other like any normal couple would. She treats their affection like a crime scene. You can hear the escalation in her voice. First it's, "This is disgusting," then, "You can't do that here," and finally, the nuclear option, "I'm calling the police." She threatens that they could be arrested or put on a list, throwing around fake legal language to sound serious. The couple, stuck between laughing and being annoyed, starts recording back. Security or police eventually show up, and here's the twist. They're more annoyed at the yelling and the disturbance than at the quiet couple on the bench. Mild PDA, like hugging or kissing, usually isn't illegal, but screaming at strangers and refusing to back off can actually get you removed. Karen came in acting like a hero, but she ends up looking like the main problem. But sometimes it's not just PDA that sets a Karen off. It's a couple arguing, and suddenly she decides she's judge, jury, and relationship counselor. Incident 4. Couple dispute, instant relationship police. In longer, Karen's Gone Wild compilations, there's a different twist. The Karen who inserts herself into a couple's personal argument. Think of a busy public place, a parking lot, or outside a bar, where a couple is clearly in a heated discussion. Voices are raised, but they're focused on each other, not on anyone else. A bystander Karen decides this is her moment. She storms over, phone recording, yelling things like, "You can't speak to her like that," or "I'm documenting this," even when the partner she's supposedly protecting is telling her to please leave. In some clips, the situation involves minor shoving or blocking, and Karen treats it like a crime documentary in real time. Now, to be fair, if someone is in real danger, stepping in or calling for help can be important. But in these meltdown clips, the Karen often escalates the situation instead of helping. She screams, threatens arrests, and drags more attention into something that might have de-escalated on its own. When security or police arrive, they suddenly have to manage not just the couple, but also the Karen who refuses to stop yelling and insists everyone listen to her version of events. Her concern turns into its own kind of harassment. The couple's argument might have cooled off, but now there's a stranger, multiple phones, and threats of legal action flying around. Not every loud intervention is heroic. Sometimes it's just more chaos with a side of entitlement. Speaking of chaos, what happens when a Karen freaks out over PDA and suddenly realizes millions of people might see her doing it? Incident 5. When the camera turns the Karen into the main character. One thing all these PDA meltdowns have in common is the phone. Somebody is almost always recording. At first, it's the Karen holding the camera like a weapon. "I'm recording this. You're going viral." But then, the couple or bystanders start recording too. Suddenly, Karen's not the director anymore. She's the star. In a lot of recent Karen compilations, you see this turning point. At first, she's loud and confident, convinced everyone will take her side. She describes totally normal PDA as sexual acts in public or corrupting children, hoping the camera will make her look like the reasonable adult in the room. But as soon as she realizes the footage doesn't match her story, her energy changes. Sometimes she tries to snatch the phone, demanding people stop recording. Sometimes she suddenly claims to be the victim, saying she feels unsafe because others are filming, even though she started the confrontation. You can often hear bystanders laughing or openly calling her a Karen, which only makes her angrier and more desperate to control the narrative. In the end, those clips end up in exactly the kind of videos she thought she was making about other people. Insane Karen freakouts, Karen meltdowns in public, all racking up millions of views.
Oh my God! Karen had a breakdown. She tried to hit me. Ask your workers. She tried to hit me.
The couple's quick kiss is forgotten. The meltdown is what the internet remembers. Now let's turn up the awkward meter. What happens when a Karen goes off on a couple in front of a full movie theater line that isn't on her side? Incident 6. Movie theater line showdown. Picture a Friday night at a big movie theater. There's a long line for tickets and popcorn, everyone standing around scrolling on their phones. In the middle of the line, a couple is waiting, leaning on each other, sharing a few quick kisses while they joke around. Nothing wild, just bored, flirty couple energy. Behind them, a woman starts sighing loudly. She mutters things like, "This is not the place for that," clearly wanting them to hear her. When they don't react, she finally explodes. "There are people here who don't want to see this. Take it somewhere else." She acts like the lobby just turned into some kind of rated R performance. The couple laughs it off at first, but she steps closer, accusing them of making everyone uncomfortable. The people in front of them turn around, and here's the twist. Instead of backing her up, most of the line tells her to relax. One guy literally says, "Lady, it's just kissing, not a reality show." Another person tells her she can look away or move if it bothers her that much. The louder she gets, the more isolated she looks. Even the theater staff comes over, not to scold the couple, but to ask her to calm down or step aside. She came in thinking the crowd would be on her side. Instead, a whole line of strangers silently sides with the couple just by not joining her outrage. If that sounds embarrassing, wait until you hear about the Karen who tried to break up PDA at the gym and got roasted by the entire weight room. Incident 7, the gym no affection zone, meltdown. Now let's move to a gym, a place that's already full of mirrors, sweat, and people low-key watching each other. A couple is working out together, spotting each other on lifts, high-fiving after a set, and occasionally giving a quick hug or peck when one of them hits a new personal record. It's wholesome, cheesy, and honestly pretty motivating to watch. Enter Gym Karen. She stomps over between sets and announces, loud enough for several people to hear, "This is a gym, not your bedroom. You can't be all over each other like that." The couple is stunned because they're not even doing anything extreme. No making out against the machines, just quick, affectionate moments between sets. They apologize if it bothered her and try to go back to their workout, but she keeps going. She threatens to report them to the front desk for inappropriate conduct and says they're making it uncomfortable for serious members. The funniest part? Half the room has headphones on and didn't even notice until she started yelling. When she actually goes to the front desk, the staff comes over, takes one look at the couple, and basically shrugs. They're fully dressed, not blocking equipment, and not doing anything obscene. The staff gently tells her that as long as people are respecting the gym rules and other members' space, a little affection isn't a policy violation. She walks away fuming, while the couple ends up getting more smiles and nods of support than dirty looks. And if you thought that was petty, our last incident might be the most public and humiliating one, because it happens mid-flight, trapped at 30,000 feet. Incident 8, the airplane armrest ambush. Imagine being stuck on a full flight, cramped seats, tiny armrests, recycled air. A couple is sitting together in the middle and window seats. They're quietly watching a movie on a shared screen, leaning into each other a bit, holding hands on the armrest. Every now and then, there's a quick kiss on the forehead or cheek. It's one of those long flights where you either sleep, stare at the wall, or cling to the person you're traveling with. In the aisle seat sits airplane Karen. At first, she just shifts and huffs. Then, halfway through the flight, she hits the call button and tells the flight attendant that the couple is being inappropriate and making her uncomfortable. The flight attendant looks over, sees them just sitting close with a blanket and headphones, and you can almost feel the secondhand embarrassment. The attendant quietly asks the couple if everything's okay, then gently tells Karen that they're not breaking any rules. That should be the end of it, but of course, it's not. She starts lecturing the couple directly about respecting other passengers, talking loud enough that nearby rows can hear her. People start glancing over the seats, and you can see a few eye rolls and smirks. One passenger behind them finally speaks up. "Ma'am, they're just sitting together. If you don't want to see them, you can close your eyes like the rest of us." A few people chuckle. The more she complains, the more the cabin turns against her. Trapped at 30,000 feet, she turned a quiet flight into her own public rant. And now she's the one everyone wants to avoid. And that's the pattern in all of these. Normal affection, over-the-top outrage, and a complete misread of who's actually the problem. So now I want to hear from you. If you were that couple in the poke bowl line, getting called disgusting and accused of having sex just for kissing, would you clap back, stay calm, or just walk away? Tell me in the comments, what level of PDA do you think is fine in public in the US? Have you ever seen a Karen meltdown over something harmless like this? If you enjoyed this breakdown of real PDA freakouts and want more compilations of wild public meltdowns, hit that like button, drop your own story below, share this with a friend who's definitely met a Karen, and make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the next episode.